Professor C's my name and change is my game. Welcome to the mental movement. Today, I have a very special episode called Surviving the Jim Jones Cult, my grandmother's story. For the record, I interviewed my mother, Angela Jameson, who is now married. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, was Mary Lee Chess. She was married and became Mary Lee O'Brien. This is a story that my family don't really speak about often. My grandmother being a survivor of an infamous cult. Key aspects to share regarding the People's Temple cult. Origins. Founded by Jim Jones in 1955 in Indianapolis, the People's Temple initially focused on racial integration and social justice, later moving to California, where it grew in influence. I should share that Jim Jones himself was born May 13th, 1931, and passed November 18th, 1978. He was considered an American cult leader, a preacher. Some called him a mass murderer, orchestrating suicide of over 900 followers by cyanide-laced poison. It is said that Jim Jones was a dynamic preacher who combined elements of Marxism with Pentecostalism, often referring to his mission as an apostate socialist. He was described as increasingly paranoid, controlling, consumed by drugs. Jonestown Colony. In 1977, to escape mounting accusations of financial fraud and abuse, Jones moved his followers to a remote jungle in Guyana, where he maintained control through forced labor surveillance and staged white night suicide drills. Following a visit by U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan, who was killed by gunmen on Jones' orders while trying to help defectors leave, Jones ordered his followers to drink cyanide-laced grape drink, resulting in the deaths of over 900 people, including around 300 children. This incident was known as the Jonestown Massacre, representing one of the largest mass losses of American civilian life in a single event. This tragedy prompted international shock and study into cult behavior and coercion. My mother did not want to be in an official interview, but she did share her responses with me. And I had 7 questions that I came up with to address with her. I asked her to state for the record my grandmother's maiden name, Mary Lee Chess. How old was Miss Mary Lee Chess when she became involved with the Jim Jones cult? Estimated she was around 23 to 24 years old. How did she become involved with the cult? My mother was not aware, could not answer that question. Did she share day-to-day functioning in the cult, what life looked like? My mother said yes. She shared that life within the cult, the group, appeared loving and supportive at first, almost like a close-knit family and community. Everyone had responsibilities, worked hard, and was expected to stay committed to the mission. Over time, however, she began to notice fear, control, long meetings, emotional pressure, and little room for personal freedom or independent thought. She often said that although many people genuinely cared for one another, something deep inside her told her that things were not what they appeared to be. I asked my mother, how did she eventually leave the cult? What made her want to leave? My grandmother told my mother that deep in her spirit, something no longer felt right. She believed God was warning her, and her intuition became stronger with each passing day. As a woman of faith and strength, she knew she had to trust what she was feeling. She quietly made the decision to leave, gathered what she could, and walked away without fully knowing what would happen next. Looking back, she believed that listening to God and trusting her instincts saved her life. I should note that my mother was around 3 or 4 then, and she was amongst the cult members, often reflecting that my grandmother stated that the cult members treated my mother like she was one of their own. One big family under the same leader. I asked my mother, did my grandmother ever discuss how she felt after learning about the loss of so many lives? She said yes. She described feeling completely heartbroken, shocked, and overwhelmed with emotion. She mourned for the lives that were lost, for the families left behind, and for the people she had known personally. At the same time, she felt deep gratitude for being alive, while also carrying the emotional weight of wondering what might happen, what would have happened if she had stayed. She often reminded us that no one should ever ignore their faith, their voice, or their intuition. My mother believes that those who have ancestors who have survived the massacre, the cult massacre, should lean into their faith, find one another, connect with one another. Strengthen your belief in a higher power. Find your purpose. And always remember to listen to that little voice in your head that tells you it's time to walk away. Always today, always tomorrow. Professor C out.